airplane called?
It's called the X-Air Standard.
Now, there are several different models of the X-Air, though, are there not?
That is correct. This is the Standard series. There's the X-Air Falcon, and there's the X-Air Hanuman. The Hanuman is, has the engine right up at the nose, as opposed to this one, which has the engine up.
Now, has this airplane been in production for a while now?
I believe it's been around for almost 10 years, or more than 10 years. Mine is serial number 1010, so there's a few around.
Now, how did you get involved with this particular airplane?
Well, this was way back. I've got some sentimental reasons for picking this airplane. Of course, the first one was the value for money. For the money that I paid for this airplane, I was getting a lot more. I looked at various designs and configurations, and this one was the most appealing. The main reason was I wanted to fly with my wife, as I've done today, and the side-by-side seating was definitely an advantage that I was looking at. It's a very passive airplane, very forgiving, so that's something that I was looking for. I didn't want something that I was constantly sort of maneuvering or working on. And the other thing is that it was a tried and tested design. The design is based on an American design called the Weed Hopper.
Right.
And the Weed Hopper, that design was sold to a French company called Rancor. And Rancor has the license, and the parts are built in India. And I came from India, so I've seen these airplanes in India in the past, and they've been doing very well. So that's how I came about deciding to purchase this one.
Now, did you build the airplane?
Yes, I did. Yes.
It comes in a kit form then?
It does come in a kit form. It's mainly tube and fabric. It was pretty easy to build. I took a little longer, of course, between home and moves and jobs and family and all of that, but it was a pretty straightforward build. Nothing complicated. You did not need any fancy tools or anything of that sort.
And where did you build it?
I built it in my garage. And then I rented a hangar space at Jurgensen Field in Fergus, and that's where I put it all together and test flew it.
Now, how long did it take you to build the airplane from the kit?
I took about 3 years to put it together, but I know that it has been put over a weekend at Sun and Fun.
Now, I noticed you're powering this with an HKS engine?
That is correct. It's a HKS 60 horsepower, 4-stroke, 2-cylinder engine.
And they're a really nice, economical engine to operate.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at 5,200 RPM, I just about burn 10 liters an hour, so you can go on forever. And I have 50-liter tanks, so I could be flying for, almost 5 hours without a refuel.
But there are other engines available for it. I know I've flown it with a 582 and a Rotax 80 horse.
That's correct, yes. A lot of them have the 582 and the Rotax. Both are popular engines.
Now, when we look at this airplane with this engine combination, what kind of performance do you get out of it for takeoff, or cruise, for stall, that type of thing?
Well, the best thing about this airplane is everything happens at 45 miles an hour. So you would normally rotate at 45 and climb at 45. The stall speed on this one is 24 miles an hour. And I would cruise, my economic cruise would be about 55 miles an hour, but I can push it to 70 miles an hour if necessary. And that would be at about 6,200 RPM.
And what kind of control system do you use on it? Standard stick and rudder type of control?
That is correct, absolutely. It's a stick and rudder 3-way.
Okay. Now, does it have 2 sticks or a single stick?
2 sticks. It's got full dual capability. The only thing that is not available to the passenger are the brakes. I have differential brakes on this side, but there's rudder, there's the stick and the throttle available for the passenger. So it's great. Back in India, this is used a lot in training.
Now, how do you steer it on the ground?
It is through the rudder pedals. They are connected to the nose wheel as well as the rudder.
Nose wheel.
That's correct, yes.
Now, are there a lot of these airplanes in Canada?
Unfortunately, I haven't seen many. I only know of a couple in the area. There's one in Guelph. He's got a X-Air Hanuman, and there's a similar configuration, exactly the same airplane and the same engine. A friend of mine who built it, Don Nitrous, he's based in at St. Joseph's Island near Sault Ste. Marie.
Now, is there a forum or anything that someone could venture to on the internet that they could get some more information?
Absolutely. There is an X-Air group on Yahoo. They are very active from all across the world. Especially, I must mention that dealers from Australia and England, very, very helpful, very, very active, and you can probably get all your answers right there and then.
Now, with a 60, 65 mile an hour cruise on this, you might be able to do some cross countries in it too then.
Oh yes, I've done a few. I definitely do every fly-in that I can on the weekends. But the best trip I've had so far has been to Oshkosh. 2011 is when I flew to Oshkosh. Took me about 2.5 days.
Did you go up north through St. Marie and around, or did you go down through Chicago?
No, I went down. I went south and then across the United States, across Chicago and up to Wisconsin. However, on my way back, I flew the northern route over the Manitoulin Islands and, had my customs at Gore Bay, Manitoulin, and then flew down to Jurgensen Field in Fergus, where I'm based. So I had an awesome trip.
That's a beautiful trip going that way.
It was. And what I loved about that was the tailwind. I had a ground speed of almost 100 miles an hour, so I did non-stop from Gore Bay, Manitoulin to Jurgensen Field. I was expecting to sort of land at Tobermory and refuel, but that wasn't necessary.
So if somebody wanted to talk to you about the X-Air, do you have an email address or something that they can contact you at?
Oh, absolutely. You're more than welcome to write to me. I've got my email address. That's on Gmail. The address is write, W-R-I-T-E, the number 2, write to Barnstormer, BARNSTORMER, @gmail.com.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.